So hello friends, welcome to ROMcart after a really long time. Today I am going to review an Android 16 custom ROM for Redmi Note 10 Pro. And you may ask why it's looking like that. It's because my back panel is removed. That's because the battery was swollen and things are going like that. You can just avoid that. This is Android 16 Project Infinity X official ROM for Redmi Note 10 Pro. So first of all, let me just show you the about of this ROM from the official Telegram group of Redmi Note 10 Pro. So here you can see this is the ROM that I'm talking about, the Project Infinity 3.0 official Android 16, and this is made by Musafir 1875. So let's dive into details about this ROM. So first of all, in first look, you will notice that the quick settings panel is completely changed. You get a translucent background and you get a slight animation when you use the buttons, and you get the power menu right here and the settings and the active apps, and this is the slider. And you may think I have customized it, but actually no, this is by default. And if I go to settings and search for QS panel, you will see that there is no option to customize the QS panel. So this is the customization section, Infinity Suite. Let me reduce the brightness a little bit. So here we get Monet color, lock screen, wallpaper, theme pack, status bar, QS panel, and all the other customization options. So I will dive deeper in few minutes, but before that, as I was talking about, in the first look, you will see some changes. After quick settings panel, if you hold in home screen, you will get the home settings, and in home settings you get the launcher, and there is no major change in the launcher. But in wallpaper and style, you can see this is the UI, no major change, and this is the widgets, and you get the app list. So I don't think this is an useful option in Android 16. You can just swipe up. Why would you click on app list? I don't understand, but let's move on. And when you edit the tiles, you will see a new change, which is adjusting the button style. So when you click on the tile, you can adjust the style of it, or you can say length of it, you can see. And these are auto adjacent. You can see you can add gaps between the tiles and move them as per your preference, like this. So yeah, this is it. Now the power menu looks like this. It's just like before, and another changes are in the Google apps. Like when you add new account, if I go to settings and click on add new account, you can see the UI is slightly different. Although the first animation is common, but when you enter a new email ID, you will see the UI is slightly different. So now let's move to the customization center. So in Monet color, we get these options, and in lock screen, we can completely customize the lock screen. And in wallpapers and style, we get these options, and we get AOD customization. There is not much customizations in the AOD, and you can customize the status bar, the QS panel. So in QS panel, you can only customize the QS header clock style. Like this is the QS header right now, and when I select analog, you will see the clock is now analog, and you can also select any other options like this. This looks good, I think, but I like the default one. And then you get QS battery styles, show on secure lock screen, etc. Now in buttons, we have these options like long press for torch, answer call, reorient, etc. Click to pursue screenshot. Then in power menu, you can customize the power menu actions, the power menu style. So when I select the cyberpunk, it changes like this. And then in notification, you get these customizations, and in navigation, you get navigation mode. You get circle to search, which is definitely working, you can see. But the UI is little bit laggy. You will see in few minutes. You will notice in next few minutes, we get the sidebar, because this is AOSP based GApps ROM, and you get the team info. Okay, so in network and internet, there is no change. In battery device, there is no change. In display, there is no change. We get the refresh rate option. You can select variable refresh rate. So you can set minimum refresh rate to 60 and 90 and maximum refresh rate to 120. And you also get per app refresh rate config. So you can set any refresh rate for a specific application, and you can also turn on the extreme refresh rate. That's also a good option, useful. And in wallpaper style, as I said, there is no change. And in apps, this is the UI. We get the game space, however, and this is just like Android 14. I mean Android 15. And in notification, there is no major change. And in sound and vibration, there is like no change. We get the increasing ring volume and the Dolby Atmos, which is definitely working. There is no issue. And in modes, we get these modes. Then in battery, this is the battery UI. You get the battery information. You can see I have only 75% battery health, which is not good actually. Although I get 6 hours of screen on time in all the custom ROMs mostly. Now the battery temperature and voltage is right here. Then we get the charging control, the battery manager, battery widget, etc. And then you get the storage and you get this animation and all the usage. And we have location, security. In security, we have fingerprint, face, and screen lock. All are working. Although it's Android 16 beta, but the lock screen options are all working, like the face also. And in privacy, we get camera access, microphone access. You can turn it off like this, because I have turned them off because that looks annoying to me, to be honest. Then we have ads. You can manage ad personalization. Then we have accessibility. There is no major change. And we have Google services. I mean system, we have gestures, and in gestures we get these gestures. We have swipes to screenshot. Then system updates. I already have an update because this is not 8/28 July build. This is older build, most probably 10 July or something like that. Although the ROM is almost similar, maybe there will be little bit stability in the latest build. And in our phone, you get the device info. Okay, so the lag I was talking about is mainly in the quick settings panel. So when I pull down the quick settings panel, there is noticeable lag. You can see the video is being recorded at 60 FPS so that you can nicely recognize the lag. Then when I edit the tiles, you can see the scrolling is initially smooth, but when I select anything like this, you can see it starts lagging. And when you edit the length of the tiles, it shows lag. Although the refresh rate that I have set is 60 Hz. So let me just switch it to 120 Hz so that it looks a little bit smoother. But still you can see there is lags in the quick settings panel. And yeah, this is it. And talking about the stock application, this is AOSP GApps build. So we have all the GApps like clock, contacts, files, etc. So we also have the AOSP files here. And for dialer, we get the AOSP dialer. So in AOSP dialer, we get the call recording. So there is no announcement. And also you can see I have turned on the automatic call recorder. So this is a good demonstration, but still let me show you. So this is the auto call recording option, and you can also customize the format, and we have other settings too. So yeah, this is the AOSP call recorder. Then we have other system apps like messages and Dolby Atmos, as I said, and we get the MIUI Leica camera. And the Leica camera UI is just like other ROMs. In more, we have these options, and in slow-mo, we get up to 1080, 480 FPS, you can see. And I think it's working just like it does. So let's just quickly check it. I did not check it although. So let me just open it. So if I open it in photos, I don't think it's working because this is the video and it's not playing. That means the slow-mo isn't working. Maybe the 120 FPS is in working condition, but let's leave it. So if I show you the benchmark scores of it in Antutu, even after setting it to the performance mode, I only got 3,33,000, which is not a good score. And if I show you the screenshot of the throttling test, let me just show you quickly. So this is the throttling test. Although the throttling test results is good, you can see 93% throttling was there. when I run the test. So yeah, this is it. And talking about the connectivity options, in calling or using the 4G internet, I did not face any issue. And also in the Bluetooth, there is no issue. So for daily usage, you will not face any major bugs or something like that. You can definitely give it a try. And I will suggest try the latest build, which I recently shown you. And this is the 28th July build, and currently I am on 5 June build. You can see in the build number it's 5 June, so it's really old. You should try the July build actually. So yeah, now most of it is already shown to you. If you have specific question, you can comment down below. I will definitely try to answer that. So yeah, this is basically it. And I forgot about the gaming. So the gaming performance is not that good. I play Call of Duty. In Call of Duty, the 120 FPS option is unlocked, but still we get around 60 FPS. So that may be a bug, but I don't know about that. So yeah, this is it for this video. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you next time.